I want to carve a chair, but I haven't really worked with wood all that much. So then, like, how am I gonna do it? Well, about 8 or 9 months ago, this popped up in my algorithm, and I really liked the sculptural aspect of it. The aggressive bit made the process so much faster, which my ADHD-riddled brain, like, latched onto. So I went onto eBay and bought an angle grinder and the carving bit. Only problem, it took about a week to arrive, and I didn't have an idea on what to make, so all motivation just, like, left, and it sat in my room for a bit. I did actually use it to redo the suspension of my car, but never for its original purpose. Then a couple months later, my buddy Niku sent me this video of a guy using an incredibly similar method, only they layered the wood to make their piece. So seeing this and remembering I have the tools, I started to think about what I could actually make. Eventually I landed on a chair out of 4x4s, but then I lost interest yet again, and it sat there for a couple months. Finally, I was able to get my ADHD medicated, so I could actually like build up the motivation to actually work on this like festering procrastinated idea. So I hopped on Fusion 360 and started fiddling around, and ended up making a rather boring and bulky chair to begin with. The long posts in the back really took most of the material budget, which was two 8-foot 4x4s. So I just deleted 3 out of the 4 legs and tried emulating the table from the first video with an added backrest. Honestly found this to be kind of ugly, and it was just like not the vibe I was going for. But the Drippy backrest, like that really hit. So I just took the backrest and combined it with the bottom of the first one, essentially eliminating like the bulky aspect and giving me some more wiggle room with the topology of the bottom of the chair. Also, I kind of forgot to mention, this entire chair is supposed to be like gloopy, I guess. With the 2 metal mounts also like slanted inward, it really like reduces the perceived width of the bottom, so it also like gets rid of some of the bulk. And you know, it's just kind of best of both worlds. The good thing about CAD is it tells you like all the measurements and you don't really have to think, so you can just kind of like click and read. So for this build I'm gonna need 4 16-inch, 1 9.5 inch, 1 8-inch, 1 7-inch, 2 6.5 inch, 1 6-inch, 3 5.5 inch, 1 5-inch, 5 4.5 inch, 4 4-inch, 4 3.5 inch, and 3 3-inch pieces.
Yes, my cat.
So here's the first dry fit. I'm kind of liking it. Now to put together. Alright, so to help with, you know, aligning all the drill holes and stuff, I made this little jig. Yeah, so let's just get that. There we go. Lovely. So now it's just a matter of getting all these holes in.
I'm not a
Woodworker.
I've never claimed to be a
Woodworker. So, drilled the holes, but the fitment's kind of shit. So I'm gonna keep working on that. Not really recording because it's very aggravating. So, you know, yeah. I'll get back to you when it's done. All right, best fitment I'm gonna get. Still a shit ton of gaps, but you know, should be all right. But yeah, held together with tape right now. But you know, it'll get sturdier. Kind of a cool end grain. But yeah, all right. It's late. I need to go to bed. Good night. Alright, so now I've got like a pretty decent alignment, so I'm just gonna kind of start gluing in rows, and I've got a little like hard surface here, so I can kind of use that as like a flat reference. So I'm definitely gonna do some adjusting with every layer, but yeah, let's get gluing. So this seems like a pretty good start. All pretty well aligned. All relatively straight, so I'm just gonna start going one by one. I'm just dousing it in a shit ton of glue and go from there, I guess. See, I'm gonna paint up the smaller surface with a bunch of glue, and then just kind of smash it on and hope that it's not too much of a problem. Basically, all of my errors, I'm just hoping that I can cover up with just using an ungodly amount of glue. So what I've got is these guys are all pretty flat when I push against the flat surface, but then, where is it? This guy, when you push it in, it kind of just keeps wobbling no matter what. Alright, I'm basically just pushing to the side, trying to open it up a little bit. Janky as shit, doesn't work very well, but hey, it does something. So here I've got the last guy gluing up, and then over here I kind of just stacked them already just to like see what it was like. And if you can see, those cracks aren't exactly great. And yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of sanding, but I guess I kind of expected that from the beginning. So yeah, that'll be next couple hours of my life.
Excellent. 8 hours later.
So here's all the layers fitted. They're vertical right now, so there's like a couple cracks, but glue can fill it, so should be fine. Cool. Alright, that's the gluing done. I probably am gonna have to fill some gaps anyway, but it should be alright. Here's the base dry. It's pretty good, a little wonky, but you know, I can work with it. And then I also did the backrest, just because like, you've seen enough of me gluing. But yeah, so that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for, this kind of drippy stuff. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna cut this out and see if I can start carving. So this thing's fun as hell. Like, so good. I mean, there's a shit ton of sawdust everywhere. Bit of an aftermath, but yeah, I'm loving it. It's a good time. The contours are gonna be a little hard, but I've also got a Dremel, so for the smaller things, it should be alright. But yeah, there you go. Well, that's my butt. Pretty comfy. Yeah, I guess that's kind of showing the initial like drippiness that I'm going for. But yeah, there's some contours that I still have to fix. But yeah, it's looking kind of good. So since the last time I talked, it's been probably like 2 days of work, a couple days of breaks. So like, yeah, not really kind of goes, but you know, kind of where I'm at. A couple things look like dicks, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But it's getting there. Yeah, the little guy in the middle. So after about a week of carving, I think I've gotten it to where I like it. I got the backrest here too. Gonna be mounting it, I'm not entirely sure how, but yeah, kind of carved into the pegs, but you know, it gives a character. So now it's on to sanding and then eventually finishing. Yay. I've got a tiny little sanding block, super rough grit, like I think it's 60. But yeah, just gonna start getting this thing smoother. Here's it all sanded up. I kind of got bored because the bottom of this thing took absolutely forever. So I ended up just doing 60 over the entire thing and then 100 grit over like where you touch it. So like the backrest and the butt. But yeah, now I'm gonna fill up all the cracks and holes and then figure out the backrest situation while it's drying. And then afterwards I got the teak oil to finish it. So, kind of a plan. So for filling it up, I'm just taking a little chisel and going into wherever there's like a bunch of glue on the surface and just kind of digging it out so I can fill that up with the filler over here. And yeah, just because, you know, glue is probably not gonna look as good. So, yeah. Now I've got a tiny little spatula thing and I'm just gonna start filling in and smearing it around. Okay, I'm just gonna take care of the rest. So I've got 100 grit on a sanding block, and now I'm just gonna get rid of these bumps and get it nice and pretty for when I put the oil on. After the backrest, I kind of opted for a rod instead of those like sheets that I have before. I felt like, you know, mounting might be a little tricky given like I'm probably gonna have to screw it in. So this way I can just like drill holes and jab it in. And then also with the backrest being as thin as it is, it's just gonna be a little easier to, you know, drill a 3/8 hole instead of trying to get like a square cut out to, you know, make it flush. So I know the general mounting points. I'm going to put it here and here. I got little pencil dots, but the good thing about just, I guess, having an angle is literally you can just spin it to get it as wide or as narrow as you want, and it also changes the lean angle whenever you twist it. So I'm going to drill these holes and then just start fiddling, see what I like, and then see if I can drill into the backrest too. I have them roughly at the same angle, kind of a thing. Like here, they're kind of matched up. But yeah, now I'm gonna open them up a little bit, and then put this about 1.5 inches down, figure out where I want them to sit, and then I'm just gonna kind of mark it on the wood so I can drill into it at that angle. And hopefully I don't fuck it up. So I'm gonna do that. So in trying to set up this shot, I kind of broke my camera holder. The bolt that goes in there just kind of sheared. I mean, I guess that comes with 3D printed shit, but you know. So yeah, you get handheld now. But yeah, so we've got some like rough markings here and here, and those are like the general angle of where I want these sticks to go. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of do it by hand, which again isn't the smart way to do it, but you know, you can make it work. It's looking pretty good. It's super loose, so that's why the zip ties are there. Basically just making sure it keeps its angle. But yeah, the drips seem to be going pretty vertically. I'm gonna have to tilt it back a tiny bit when I glue it, but yeah, pretty nice. It is all glued up. It's pretty stable. I ended up actually having to shove some like metal shims in here to get it nice and tight so it wouldn't keep wiggling even with the glue, but yeah, ended up covering it with the filler. Kind of skipped over recording that because I feel like this video's probably droning on a bit, but yeah, I ended up actually printing a new bolt too, so next shots are going to be a little less shaky. Yeah. Next comes oiling the wood and then hoping it looks alright. Cool. So for the oil, I'm moved into a room that has a lot less traffic just because I'm going to be tempted to touch it, and we also cast, so just want to keep it safe. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to douse it in oil, and I guess that's kind of how it works, so. So there you have it. About 9 months of procrastination, 2 weeks of work, and got to share it. Pretty happy with it. Yeah, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and have a good one.